How to speak fluently. Part 1. The importance of practice. Speaking fluently in English is one of the most common goals for language learners. Many people start learning English because they want to talk easily in daily life, at school, or at work. Fluency means that you can speak without long pauses and without thinking too much about every single word. It also means that people can understand you clearly, even if you make small mistakes. This is why practice is so important. Without practice, it is almost impossible to reach fluency. Some learners only read books or do grammar exercises, but if they never practice speaking, they cannot become fluent. Fluency is like a muscle. If you train it, it grows stronger every day. Practice gives you the chance to connect your thoughts with words. When you start learning, your brain needs time to find the right word, to put it in the right place, and to say it correctly. This process can be slow and difficult in the beginning, but with practice, your brain gets faster, and your mouth learns the movements more easily. It is similar to learning how to ride a bicycle. At first, it feels strange and uncomfortable, but the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. After enough practice, you can ride without thinking about balance, just like you can speak English without thinking about every rule. Another important reason for practice is confidence. Many learners feel shy or nervous when they speak. They are afraid of making mistakes, or they think their accent is not good enough. But if you practice often, your confidence grows. Each time you try, you see that people can understand you, and that mistakes are not a big problem. Slowly, speaking becomes less scary. With more practice, you begin to enjoy conversations in English, and you stop worrying so much about perfection. Confidence is built step by step, and practice is the foundation. There are many ways to practice speaking, even if you do not live in an English-speaking country. One method is self-practice. You can talk to yourself in English during the day. For example, if you are cleaning your room, you can say, "I am cleaning the table now. Next, I will wash the dishes." This may sound simple, but it trains your brain to think in English. You can also describe your feelings. "I am tired today. I am happy because I finished my work." These small sentences are easy, but they help you create the habit of using English daily. Listening and repeating is another strong practice method. You can watch a short video, listen to a podcast, or hear a song in English. Then, try to repeat the sentences exactly as you hear them. At first, it may be difficult to copy the sound and rhythm, but with time it becomes easier. Repeating helps you improve both your pronunciation and your fluency. It is like shadowing the speaker. Many learners use this technique because it allows them to practice real-life English, not just textbook English. Conversation practice with other people is also very important. If you have friends who speak English, try to talk to them regularly. If not, you can join online language exchange platforms where learners meet to practice. In these conversations, do not worry too much about mistakes. Focus on communication. The goal is not to be perfect but to express your ideas and understand others. Every conversation you have is like an exercise, and each exercise brings you closer to fluency. Mistakes are often seen as something negative, but in fact, they are a natural part of practice. Imagine a child who is learning to speak his or her first language. The child makes many mistakes, but nobody tells the child to stop talking. Instead, the child continues, and with time, the mistakes disappear. The same is true for learning English. If you stop every time you make a mistake, you will never improve. But if you continue, your brain learns from the mistake and slowly corrects it. This is why it is better to practice a lot and make mistakes than to stay silent and wait for perfection. Regular practice also helps you remember new vocabulary. When you only read or write words, you may forget them quickly. But if you use them in speaking, they become part of your active vocabulary. For example, if you learn the word delicious, and you use it many times when talking about food, the word stays in your memory. Practice turns passive knowledge into active knowledge. That means you can use the word when you need it, not just recognize it in a book. In addition, practice prepares you for real-life situations. Reading grammar rules is useful, but in real conversations, you do not have time to think about grammar books. You must answer quickly and naturally. Practice gives you this ability. The more you practice, the more ready you are to face conversations in shops, schools, jobs, or travel. You will not panic when someone asks you a question, because you already practiced similar sentences before. Finally, practice creates a habit. At first, practicing every day can feel difficult. You may think you do not have time, or you may feel tired. But if you keep going, it becomes part of your daily life, like brushing your teeth or eating breakfast. A habit is powerful because it continues without much effort. If you practice for 10 or 15 minutes every day, in 1 year you will see a huge improvement. Consistency is more important than long, rare practice sessions. Small steps every day are better than big steps once a month. In conclusion, practice is the most important part of learning to speak fluently. It connects your thoughts with words, builds your confidence, and helps you remember vocabulary. It allows you to make mistakes and learn from them, prepares you for real-life conversations, and creates a strong habit. Without practice, it is impossible to reach fluency. But with regular practice, every learner can improve and become more confident in speaking English. The journey to fluency is not fast, but with practice, it is always possible. Part 2. Building vocabulary for fluency. Fluency is not only about speaking quickly, it is also about having enough words to express your ideas. When you have a strong vocabulary, you can talk about many topics and share your thoughts more clearly. If you only know a few words, you will feel limited, and you will repeat the same phrases again and again. But if you know many words, you can describe your feelings, your experiences, and your opinions in a richer way. Vocabulary is like the bricks of a house. The more bricks you have, the bigger and stronger your house can be. Without vocabulary, fluency is impossible. One important idea is to focus on useful vocabulary first. Some learners try to memorize very difficult or rare words, but they never use them in daily life. This is not helpful for fluency. It is better to learn simple, common words that people use every day. For example, words about food, family, work, school, and hobbies are very useful. With these words, you can start many conversations. Once you feel comfortable, you can add more advanced vocabulary step by step. In this way, your vocabulary grows naturally, and you can always use what you learn. Repetition is a powerful tool for remembering new vocabulary. If you only see a word once, you will probably forget it. But if you see, hear, and use the word many times, it becomes part of your memory. For example, if you learn the word journey, try to read it in a story, listen to it in a podcast, and use it in your own sentences. You could say, "My journey to school is short," or, "The journey was long and difficult." Each time you repeat the word, it becomes stronger in your memory. Practice with repetition is much more effective than trying to memorize long word lists. Another good method is to learn words in context. This means that you learn them inside sentences or stories, not just as single words. For example, instead of only learning the word beautiful, you can learn the phrase a beautiful day, or a beautiful house. This helps you understand how to use the word in real life. When you learn in context, you remember better because you connect the word with a situation or feeling. Reading simple books, listening to dialogues, or watching short videos are excellent ways to learn words in context. Speaking practice is also necessary for building active vocabulary. Many learners know a lot of words when they read, but they cannot use them in speaking. This is because the words are passive in their memory. To make them active, you must use them in conversation. For example, if you learn the word excited, try to use it when you talk about your day. You can say, I am excited for the weekend, or, she is excited about her new job. Each time you use the word, it becomes easier to say. Over time, your speaking vocabulary grows larger and more natural. It is also useful to keep a vocabulary notebook. In this notebook, you can write new words, their meanings, and example sentences. You can also write down synonyms, antonyms, or small pictures to remember them better. Reviewing your notebook every day, even for 10 minutes, will help you remember the words. Some learners like to use digital tools or apps instead of notebooks, which is also fine. The important thing is to have a place where you can collect and review new words regularly. Learning word families can also improve your vocabulary quickly. A word family is a group of words that come from the same root. For example, from the word help, you can learn helpful, helpless, helper, and helping. If you know one root word, you can understand and use many other related words. This is a smart way to expand your vocabulary because you learn several words at the same time. When you practice using them in sentences, you also improve your grammar naturally. Another useful strategy is to focus on phrases, not only single words. Many people speak more fluently when they remember whole chunks of language. For example, instead of just knowing the word, hungry, you can remember the phrase, I am hungry, or, are you hungry? These ready-made phrases make speaking faster because you do not have to think about each word separately. Phrases like, how are you doing, or, can you help me, are very common and make your speech sound more natural. Vocabulary learning is easier when it is fun. You can play word games, do quizzes, or make flashcards. Watching movies with subtitles, listening to music, or reading stories can also be enjoyable ways to learn. When you enjoy the process, you spend more time with the language, and you remember more words. Some learners like to connect words with their hobbies. For example, if you love cooking, you can learn food vocabulary. If you enjoy sports, you can learn sports vocabulary. This makes learning personal and interesting. Finally, building vocabulary is not something you finish in one day or 1 month. It is a lifelong process. Even native speakers learn new words every year. The secret is to keep learning step by step, without pressure. Try to learn a few words every day and use them in your speaking. After some months, you will see that your vocabulary is much bigger than before. With a rich vocabulary, you can express yourself more clearly, understand others more easily, and feel more confident in every conversation. Vocabulary gives you the power to speak fluently and connect with people all around the world. Part 3. Improving pronunciation and confidence. When people learn English, they often worry about pronunciation. Pronunciation is the way we say words, and it is very important for fluency. If your pronunciation is clear, people can understand you easily. If it is not clear, even when your grammar is correct, people may not understand what you are trying to say. This can be frustrating and can make you feel less confident. For this reason, improving pronunciation is one of the most important steps in becoming fluent. Good pronunciation helps you to communicate better and to feel more comfortable when speaking. The first step to improving pronunciation is listening carefully. You need to hear how words are really pronounced by native speakers. This means watching movies, listening to songs, or paying attention to how people talk in conversations. When you listen, focus on the sounds, not just the meaning. Notice how the words are connected, how some sounds are stronger, and how the voice rises and falls. This is called intonation. Listening is like training your ear, and when your ear learns the sounds, your mouth can copy them more easily. Another useful practice is repeating what you hear. This is sometimes called shadowing. You listen to a sentence and then repeat it immediately, trying to copy the sound, rhythm, and speed. At first, this can feel difficult, but with time it becomes easier. Shadowing helps you to speak more naturally and to improve your accent. You can start with short sentences, like, "How are you?" or "I don't know," and later try longer ones. Repeating many times will make the words automatic, so you do not have to think too much when you speak. It is also important to learn how to use your mouth and tongue for English sounds. Some sounds in English may not exist in your first language, so they are new for you. For example, the th sound in words like think or this can be difficult. To make this sound, you put your tongue between your teeth and blow air. Practicing these sounds slowly will help you pronounce them better. You can use a mirror to watch your mouth and make sure you are doing it correctly. Practicing difficult sounds regularly will make your pronunciation clearer. Confidence is another key part of fluency. Many learners know the words and grammar, but they are afraid to speak. They worry about mistakes, about their accent, or about other people laughing at them. This fear stops them from practicing, and without practice, they cannot improve. To build confidence, you must accept that mistakes are normal and natural. Everybody makes mistakes, even native speakers. Instead of feeling bad, you should see mistakes as chances to learn. When you change the way you think, speaking becomes less scary. One way to gain confidence is to start with simple conversations. You do not need to use long, difficult sentences at first. Begin with greetings, introductions, or short answers. When you succeed in these small conversations, you will feel more confident. Slowly, you can try longer sentences and more difficult topics. Confidence grows step by step, just like vocabulary and pronunciation. If you push yourself too fast, you may feel stressed, but if you grow slowly, you will feel more comfortable each time. Another strategy for confidence is preparation. If you know that you will have a conversation in English, prepare some words and phrases in advance. For example, if you are going to a restaurant, learn phrases like, "Can I see the menu?" or "I would like some water, please." When you are prepared, you feel more ready, and you can speak without fear. Preparation is not cheating, it is smart practice. Over time, you will not need as much preparation, because the phrases will already be in your memory. Speaking in front of a mirror can also improve both pronunciation and confidence. When you look at yourself, you can see your mouth, your expressions, and your body language. You can practice sentences and check if your pronunciation is clear. At the same time, you can practice speaking with confidence by standing tall and using a strong voice. This may feel strange at first, but it is very effective. Many learners find that practicing in front of a mirror helps them feel more comfortable when they speak with other people. Joining speaking groups or clubs is another great way to practice. When you speak with other learners, you see that everyone makes mistakes, not only you. This makes you feel more relaxed. In a group, you can practice pronunciation, ask questions, and support each other. Speaking with other learners is also less stressful than speaking with native speakers, so it is a good step for building confidence. Once you feel more comfortable, you can try speaking with native speakers too. Finally, remember that pronunciation and confidence are connected. When your pronunciation improves, you feel more confident, because people understand you better. When your confidence grows, you speak more often, and this gives you more practice with pronunciation. Both skills support each other. That is why it is important to work on them together. If you practice pronunciation every day and also focus on building confidence, your fluency will improve much faster. In conclusion, improving pronunciation and confidence is essential for fluency. Pronunciation makes your speech clear, and confidence helps you to use your English without fear. Listening carefully, repeating, practicing difficult sounds, and using a mirror can improve pronunciation. Starting with small conversations, preparing phrases, and joining groups can build confidence. Both pronunciation and confidence grow step by step with regular practice. If you continue to practice and believe in yourself, you will speak English more fluently and enjoy every conversation. Part 4. Daily Habits for Fluency. Fluency is not something that happens in 1 week or 1 month. It is a long journey, and the best way to succeed is to create good daily habits. Habits are actions that you do every day without thinking too much. For example, brushing your teeth is a habit, and it feels strange if you forget to do it. In the same way, if you make English a daily habit, your skills will grow naturally. The secret to fluency is not only hard work but also regular practice. Small steps every day are much stronger than big steps once in a while. One useful habit is to speak in English every day, even if it is only for a few minutes. You do not always need a partner. You can speak to yourself when you are cooking, walking, or cleaning. You can describe what you are doing. I am opening the window, or I am washing the dishes now. This kind of simple speaking keeps your brain active in English. It also trains you to think in English instead of translating from your first language. Thinking in English is an important part of fluency, and daily speaking habits help you to do this naturally. Reading in English every day is another great habit. Reading gives you new words, new phrases, and new sentence structures. You can start with easy books, short stories, or even news articles for learners. Reading a little every day, even for 10 minutes, will make a big difference. Try to read aloud sometimes. When you read aloud, you practice both vocabulary and pronunciation at the same time. Reading aloud also gives you confidence, because you hear your own voice in English, and it becomes more natural for you. Listening practice should also be part of your daily routine. You can listen to podcasts, songs, or short videos in English. At first, you may not understand everything, but that is normal. The more you listen, the more you will understand. Listening helps you learn natural pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. It also prepares you for real-life conversations, because you will get used to hearing different voices and accents. Try to choose topics that you enjoy, so listening becomes fun and not just study. If you enjoy music, listen to English songs every day. If you like sports, listen to sports news in English. Writing is another daily habit that supports fluency. You do not need to write long essays every day. Even short notes, diary entries, or social media posts in English are useful. Writing helps you organize your ideas and remember new words. For example, you can write a short diary entry each night. Today I went to school. I was happy because I met my friend. We talked about our weekend plans. These small pieces of writing are easy but powerful. Over time, your sentences will become longer and more complex, and your fluency will improve. Using technology can also help you create strong daily habits. There are many apps and websites that support English learning. You can use vocabulary apps to review new words, listening apps to hear short conversations, or even speaking apps to practice pronunciation. Some learners set daily reminders on their phones to spend at least 10 minutes practicing. Technology is always around us, so using it for English is a smart way to practice daily without extra effort. A good daily habit is also reviewing what you learned before. Many learners only focus on new words and forget to review the old ones. But reviewing is very important because it keeps the knowledge fresh in your memory. For example, if you learned the word comfortable last week, try to use it again this week in a sentence. If you do not review, you may forget the word quickly. A short review every day is better than long reviews once a month. This method keeps your vocabulary active and ready for speaking. Another useful daily practice is to ask yourself questions in English. For example, when you wake up, ask, "What will I do today?" When you are eating, ask, "Do I like this food? How does it taste?" Before sleeping, ask, "What did I do today? What made me happy?" Asking questions and answering them in English helps you think faster and speak more naturally. This habit is simple, but it trains your brain to use English in daily life, not only in class. It is also important to make English fun. If your daily habits are boring, you will not continue them for long. Try to connect English with your hobbies. If you like cooking, read recipes in English or watch cooking videos. If you love games, play games in English and chat with other players. If you enjoy movies, watch them with subtitles. When English is part of the things you love, it stops feeling like study and becomes a natural part of your life. Fun learning is the best way to keep daily habits strong. Finally, remember that habits take time to build. At first, it may feel difficult to practice every day. You may forget, or you may feel tired. But if you continue for a few weeks, it becomes normal. After some time, you will not even think about it, you will just do it. Daily habits are powerful because they make practice automatic. With strong habits, you do not need special motivation every day. The habit itself pushes you to continue, and your fluency grows without stress. Speaking fluently in English is not an easy goal, but it is possible for everyone. In this text, we looked at 4 important parts of fluency. First, we learned that practice is the key. Without practice, fluency cannot grow. Second, we saw that vocabulary is like the bricks of a house, and the more words you know, the more you can say. Third, we discovered that pronunciation and confidence are connected, and both must be improved step by step. Finally, we understood that daily habits are the secret to long-term success. Fluency is not about being perfect. It is about communicating, sharing ideas, and enjoying conversations. Mistakes are not the end, they are part of learning. Every word you say, every sentence you try, and every conversation you join brings you closer to fluency. The journey is long, but if you practice daily, build your vocabulary, improve your pronunciation, and grow your confidence, you will reach your goal. So, do not wait for the perfect moment. Start today. Speak a little every day, listen to English, read, write, and most importantly, enjoy the process. Fluency is not a dream far away. It is a skill you can build step by step. With time, effort, and good habits, you will be able to speak English fluently and connect with the world.